Testing, testing. All right, looks good there. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Been a bit of a busy day, but hey, that is all good there. So I was thinking just today is going to be pretty much more of a casual day, just hanging out, working on the RPG, just kind of having a good time. And I hope you're here and along for the ride. Alright, so this is kind of where we left off with backgrounds and such yesterday. We've got all of our characteristics and their skill proficiencies figured out there. We've got positions, ASI quick builds, origin HP tool proficiencies. We've got all that good. We need to do more work as far as kits go. Then I've got this section here where we were working on some of the different cultures for the campaign setting primarily. Here, so we still need to do a few more for our elemental plane of earth, elemental plane of water, and our underdark analog. So we might get into a little bit of that. We can also get into creating suggested language options for some of our primary culture options here. Actually, one of the things that I was wanting to do is I set my notebook at, there it is, was to create some builds for our new tools that we had devised the names of last time, that being the priest's supplies, with skewing off of the religion skill, and the weapon master's kit with athletics. Then we also would want to create an introductory table for tools similar to the reference table we have for skills. So actually, let's probably just kind of get started there. I think that's going to be a good place to kind of just jump in and be working on the projects here. All right, so I'm just genuinely just going to copy the skills table here, since that is our direct comparison. So we need the space after there, and then there is no space. Oh no, there is one space after the table. Okay. All right, so formatting this table here, we're going to have our tool, the associated skill, and then brief description there. Actually, let's go ahead and jump over to our tools page here as well. All right. So we do have the new ones, the priest supplies, and weapon master's kit. QR. Yep. Alright, Weapon Master's Kit. Okay, so let's go ahead and just kind of start filling in all of these different areas. So our first tool here is our alchemist supplies. We have artisans supplies. We've got brewer supplies. Calligrapher's tools. Cartographer's tools. Cook's tools. Disguise kit. Gaming sets. We've got musical instruments. We've got a poisoner's kit. We've got priests. Supplies. Got smith's tools. Got thieves' tools. Got a tinker's kit. And we've got the weapon master's kit. So then we can get rid of all of these bonus bonus rows here. Ideally, I'd like to keep these all on one row, so let's kind of poke around here with. There we go, that seems decent. Alright, so our associated skills here. Alchemist supplies, that is going to be medicine, wisdom. Artisan supplies, it's going to be performance. Brewers is going to be endurance, constitution. Calligraphy is a sleight of hand. Dexterity. Hi there, Only Wrong Aesthetics. We are designing a tabletop RPG here. This is my my kind of passion project here. I've been working on since early 2023. It's called Underkeeper. It is a new kind of heroic fantasy tabletop RPG, similar to something like a Draw Steel. It is kind of descended from 5e, and it's kind of and my goal is to kind of blend a lot of the aesthetics and gameplay mechanics that I like into one cohesive vehicle for gameplay. It's also primarily just a way for me to discuss and learn and kind of get into the practice of doing game designs. I like to do that somewhat professionally. Cartographer's tools here. So right now what I'm working on is I'm just taking a lot of the tools that I have over here on the right side of my screen here that we've already designed either in part on these streams and before these streams. I'm just creating a reference table at the start of that part of the chapter here, just so that I can refer back to it while we're working on backgrounds. Cartographer tools here, that's going to be queuing off navigation. The navigation skill. Nice. Hey, thank you so much. Ooh, Fate RPG. Hang on. Fate Core. I believe I have some of those books. I believe that's the Evil Hat RPG company as their publisher. I know I've read through it, but I haven't gone through there as much as I would hope or like. I'm not as familiar with it primarily. I've been doing a lot of reading on the Cypher system recently, just because one of my friends did a one-shot using the Old Gods of Appalachia system. And then I've been doing also a lot of reading on the Alien RPG by Free League and their Year Zero engine, just because I am a big Alien fan, and I also promised to run the Chariot of the Gods scenario for same friend sometime later this year. Yeah. I think I do have a copy of Fate over in the other room there, but I do need to kind of sit down and just read through that. But I'm glad that you're writing and working in that field there. That's awesome. Navigation is intellect. Okay. All right, Cook's tools here. That's medicine. That's wisdom again. Disguise kit. I believe that's performance. No, it's deception. Dang. Charisma there. Gaming sense. Also is sleight of hand. Just because there isn't a specific luck skill or luck kind of mechanic there. Musical instrument, that would be performance. Yep. Poisoner's kit is nature. That's under intellect. Priest supplies is religion. That is, I believe, also intellect. Skill there. Nature, intellect. Yes. Religion is, yep, that is also intellect. Just what I thought. Okay, so Smith's tools here. That is going to be under athletics, so that is strength. Okay, thieves tools. Sleight of hand again. Showing up a lot actually there. Tinker's kit is investigation. That is definitely under intellect. And then Weapon Master's kit is under ethics. Okay, so is there a good way to kind of easily format this table here so that it will all be have them on the same line? It's not looking good because the brief description is probably going to be in the way. But let's play with it. Let's give it a shot. All right. So if we put this at 175, nope. Would have to go to what, 2? Yeah, it would have to go to 2. Then we have the brief description. We can make this work, I think. We could also just leave out the ability score there. Yeah, I think that's probably going to be the way to do it, actually. If we just leave out the ability score, similar to how we were calling it previously. All right, there is that, and then we can go back into here, and then we can reset our boundary here to what, 1.5, and that's perfect. And then we can go to brief description here, and just go ahead and get everything all inserted and up to date. There we go. All right, so. Brief description here. If we're using the skills table here as our reference, it's gonna be what, 1 to 2 lines, primarily related to the plain text that we've written up already for it. So yeah. All right, so alchemist supplies. Let me get into the voice of these skills are. Measure of a character's flexibility and coordination. Character's ability to interact with, understand, and empathize with animals. The measure of a character's knowledge and understanding of magical lore and the arcane. Okay, that's getting into the tone. A character's specialized skill with crafting potions, elixirs, and other alchemical substances. Specialized skill. Hang on, because these are not skills; these are tools. So a specialization with crafting characters. The resources used when a trained character crafts potions, elixirs, and other alchemical substances. There we go. That's the good. There we go. Okay. Artisan supplies. Tools a character needs. Character typically employs when pursuing artistic, craft, or trade. Brewer supplies. Brewer supplies are what here? Brewer supplies. Proficiency with brewer supplies reflects a character's skill in crafting a variety of alcoholic beverages, from ales and lagers to more refined spirits. Include brewing vat, glass bottles, hops, barley, yeast, and other essential ingredients. Additionally, it may contain tools for measuring, stirring, heating, and bottling, as well as a siphon and filters to ensure a smooth brew. Alright, so brewer supplies are the tools and know-how employed by a character to create various alcoholic. That's not how you spell that word. Beverages. Create and what? To create and what? Create and improvise, improve upon, meddle with, remix. I like that because you're mixing drinks and such. Create and remix various alcoholic beverages. There we go. Calligrapher's tools. Tools and skills a character needs in order to write and encode text in an artistic manner. Cartographer's tools here. The skills employed by explorers and adventurers: surveying and mapping the unknown worlds. Skills and equipment. Cook's tools here. Let's see here. A collection. Tools used by character, used by trained and learning, now used by adventurers to prepare a meal for them and their party on the road. Well, not necessarily on the road. To prepare meal collection of tools. Okay, that's fine there. Disguise kit. Yes, this one is kind of a fun one. Proficiency with the disguise kit reflects a character's ability to alter their appearance and assume new identities. The collection of cosmetic items, cosmetics, and costumes employed by adventurers and charlatans to disguise their appearance. And well, yeah, we don't need to go for it. All right, gaming set. Collection of game pieces for a specific activity and hang on. It's for a specific activity and pastime with which you are well versed. Specific structured musical instruments. I mean, they're musical instruments. The pieces used to play, perform, and maintain musical instrument along with the skills to confidently perform for an audience. Poisoner's Kit. The resources used when a trained character creates, handles, and applies toxic substances. Creates, handles, and employs toxic substances. All right. Priest supplies. Tools and relics of a priestly character's hang on. What do we work with here? A collection of tools and relics of priestly characters. What? Used by priestly characters. Oh, okay, but that tells me nothing. In the worship and enforcement of their god or saints. Mandates, wills, mandates, yeah. All right, only a couple others of these to go here. Smith's tools. The tools necessary for a character to set up a small blacksmithing to repair weapons and armor. On the road. For character to forge, repair, yeah, okay, hang on. Forge or repair their weapons and armor. There we go. That, yeah, okay. A collection of tools typically employed by thieves and criminals to pick locks, disarm traps, and perform covert tasks. Tinker's Kit. A collection of small tools used in the crafting and repair of mechanical devices and gadgets. And then finally, the Weapon Master's Kit. Collection of weapons and collection of weapons and tools to maintain and to train others in the sport I mean, this is it's kind of a using the word in its own definition here. Rules to main. collection of tools used to maintain a blade's. No, it's not necessarily a blade though. To maintain the weapons of your adventuring party. And train others in their tactful employment. No, not employment, deployment. There we go. All right. So that's that. All right, so cool. We have the table there done. Let me go ahead and kind of check that off of my to-do list here. All right. Sweet. So what to do next? What can we work on? I'm just checking chat, making sure everything is going well in those spaces. Cool. All right. I do that. Cool. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and what should we write up the new weapon, the weapon master kit and the priest kit? Sorry, priest supplies here as far as our tools go. Or should we jump back over towards our whatchamacallit? Should we jump back over to our backgrounds? Let's go ahead and figure out what our downtime activity here is for our priest supplies here. Yeah, let's just keep working on our supplies and our tools here, since that's what we have kind of got started here going. All right, so priest supplies, this being one of the new options here. Okay, so figuring we're going to get a little bit of crossover here with something like alchemist supplies, because we're going to be creating like holy waters and such. So proficiency with priests supplies. Allows a character to maybe this is going to have something to do with sanctifying cursed areas, so like creating hallowed ground naturally. And so since this is a downtime activity, that might be on. We might be onto something. So, what would a priest in a fantasy setting do? They're going to be removing curses. They're going to be kind of channeling and communicating with, their gods. We do have some of that in the anointed class, and so I figure that this is going to primarily get paired a lot with that one. So we have invocations. We've got enchantments in the form of like land enchantments. Let's see here. So we have hallowed ground. We have like creating flasks of holy water. We can do removing curses. What was that? I believe there was actually a class feature here. Hang on, let's go over to the ranger class, because they do have a base level that they can cast a restoration spell. So that's going to be good for your sort of removal of curses. Yeah. Where are you? There we go. Ranger. So if I scroll all the way down here, yes. So as a part of our Natural Explorer feature, we get Restoration. Once per day when you complete a short rest in your favorite terrain, you or one creature of your choice gains... that should be plural there. Or not plural, it should just have an S at the end of it there. Gains the benefits of the restoration spell performed at its base level. Alright, so proficiency with a priest supplies allows a character to create to be the hands of their patron, god, or saint among people they stay around. And they interact with the general public. Okay, so that is incredibly vague here. This set of tools typically includes several relics and icons of your faith, and so relics, icons, and holy symbols. Your faith, as well as priestly vestments and the basic, a collection implements used to perform religious rites, such as incense, oils, and just incense and oils. All right, so what we do here then is we're going to go ahead and grab this little box here for the poisoner's kit. Once again, we're going to just kind of completely change this since it's, you know, for the poisoner. Tool ability. Blessing of the Heavens. This sounds nice. Yeah, let's go for that there. Hang on, no. Well, because that's going to imply heavens. In which case we do have like the celestials and such there, but once again, this is a more fantasy universe, so it's going to have more of that angle to it. What if we tool ability, Spark of Divinity. The mediator between the head and the heart must be the hands. No, the head. No, that's not how that quote goes. The mediator between the head and the hands must be the heart. Divine blessing. Anointment? Hang on, I want to be careful about using the word anointing or anointment, just because we have that as a class name, as like one of the kind of big class names. So like we want to hold back on that. Yeah, divine blessing. All right. During an extended rest, you can use 1 day of downtime to what? D4 plus 1. No, hang on. Let's make this a little bit better. Usually it's 1d4 plus 1. But since holy water doesn't come in different tiers, so you can't have greater holy water, lesser holy water, and the like there. So let's go ahead and craft 1d6 plus 1. What would the container for holy water be? It's just a bottle, a vial, flask. 1d6 plus 1 flasks of holy water. During this downtime, you can expend one of these flasks to anoint another character. Performing either the remove curse or restoration spell, your choice. At what do we say? It's going to be at its base level, at a level equal at its base level, or a level equal to half your character's level, whichever is higher. At the end of the downtime period, any remaining flasks holy water are considered considered flasks of holy water for your adventuring purposes and cannot be used to what? Cannot be used to focus and cast restoration. Used to focus, cast restorative magics. Similarly, if you expend you can take 3 of these flasks holy water to not take. You can expend 3 of these flasks of holy water to anoint an area. Hallowing, cursing the land in the name of your patron deity. Cursing a small land so theoretically you could get 1d6 plus 1, so that could be 7 flasks of holy water. So you could hallow or curse 2 lands during a downtime activity. At the end of the downtime period, any remaining flasks of holy water are considered flasks of holy water. For your adventuring purposes, it cannot be used to focus and cast restorative magics. Yep. I think that is pretty good ability there, as far as what downtime abilities are used for in this game. Like this is a pretty good cleric-y ability. Let me go ahead and all right, so then we're good to go ahead and get rid of that comment there. All right. So, Weapon Master's Kit. All right. How's everyone doing in chat here? All right. Looks like things are going pretty well. Cool. Alright, so Weapon Master skills here. A character who has a background in combat and martial training may choose to be with a background in combat and martial training may choose to be no, hang on. We haven't started any of these others like this. A Weapon Master's Kit is a selection of weapons, of weaponry, and tools to maintain. Weaponry and tools used to maintain those weapons. A selection. Yeah. Proficiency with a Weapon Master's Kit reflects character's skill with the blade and enhanced training with combat implements. this set of tools typically includes a couple choice weapons that the character is proficient with, and that they're proficient with, that they are known for, that are kind of signifying weapons the character is proficient with, and the character is proficient, as well as the tools needed to maintain those weapons. Those weapons, we were using the word weapons a lot. Those implements, using implements as well. To maintain them, and to train others in their use, in their deployment. All right, so enhanced training with combat implements. This set of tools typically includes a couple choice weapons from that the character is proficient with, as well as the tools needed to maintain them, to train others in their deployment. All right, there we go. Okay, so how do we do this as far as tool abilities go? We could do this in a couple different manners. So my current train of thought here is when you take this ability, you will choose one of these two tool abilities, and you can swap them out when you, and then like after you spend like a day in an extended rest, you can swap these out. When you take, that's bold too. When you take this tool proficiency, choose one of the following tool abilities. Okay, and what is, let's see, you can change your choice of tool ability after as a what? Part of taking an extended rest. Part of taking extended rest. Part of taking extended rest. Yeah, that's fine. All right, so these are going to be two different tool abilities that take place during an extended rest. So we have, we're going to have two different features here. We're going to have one that is a kind of quartermaster style ability and one that is a training ability. What do we call this? Do we call this like quartermaster's tinkering? That just, well, tinkering is its own separate tool there. So quartermaster's maintenance. Sure, that could work. What do we do? I'm just going to put it in here. So So we have 2 abilities, Quartermaster and Training. And then we'll just work out what their names are after the fact. So, for Quartermaster, you... during an extended rest... Sorry, I'm wanting to reference with the others here. I think I'm just going to pull up the core rulebook on my other panel over here. So since we're looking at the Tinker Kit there, that'll work there. Okay. During an extended rest, you can use 1 day downtime to repair damage to your allies' weapons. To repair damage to your allies' weapons. These weapons, upon completion, these weapons gain a... Okay, because I do think that this is going to be like you get a +1 to your damage rolls ability here. So we do want this to scale as you level up. Gain a bonus to their damage rolls. Equal to what, your character level? No, because that's going to give you up to a +10 bonus to damage, which is substantial. Gain a bonus relative to your character level. This bonus lasts until the next time you take an extended rest. Okay, so let's see here, because we want to get a table here to reflect this. However, we have a table like this already. So let's go over to, I believe it's the Pugilist class here, since that is our martial arts focus. Level, proficiency die, discipline points, that is close. There we go, this is what I want. Let me copy that. Thank you. All right. Level 1 to 2. All right. 1 to 2, this is going to give +1 +1 damage. It's going to give what? +2 damage. It's going to give +3 damage. And +4 damage. That, hang on, that's what? 1, 2, 3, 4 damage. So 1's going to be at level 1 to 2. 4's no. Maybe 1 to 3. 4 to 6. 7 to 10. Would we be able to say you're kind of like a godly weaponsmith at level 10? and that way you would get +4 damage. I mean, it's going to it's what, 4 more static damage. 1 to 3, yeah. We're gonna go 4 to 6. We're gonna go 7 to 9, level 10, +4 damage. 1 damage to a number of your allies' weapon. Equal to the maximum roll of your proficiency die. Level 1 to 3, your proficiency. Oh, why does it have to be that way? Okay. Yeah, level 1 to 3 +1 damage. Number of your allies' weapons equal to the maximum roll of your proficiency die. These weapons gain bonus to their damage roll relative to your character level. Bonus lasts until next time you take an extended rest. +1 damage, +2 damage, +3 damage, +4 damage. There we go. Then training here. During an extended rest, you can train alongside one of your allies you can spar, train alongside one of your allies, granting you both additional. No, hang on, we won't need to say that it's going to give you new abilities. You can use 1 day down time to spar and train alongside one of your allies. All right. So what do we do with this? Do we give a weapon proficiency of your choice, or do we give weapon training? Because I do like the idea of weapon training. We do that is something that is unique to this game. So we probably should give training because it's a training ability here. Okay. So let's go ahead and jump over to the Berserker class. Weapon training. One of your allies. Upon completion, both you and the ally you trained with gain an additional use of the can mark one additional weapon you wield as a trained weapon. Okay, so you can mark one additional weapon of your choice. An additional weapon you are proficient with as a trained weapon. There we go. So this weapon is considered trained. You are considered trained with this weapon. Both, no, hang on. It's not just you, it's both characters. Both characters considered trained with their chosen weapon until the next time you take an extended rest. Next time you take extended rest, or rest, this trained weapon cannot be replaced through the use of replaced of the weapon training feature. No, why couldn't it? Why couldn't it? Until the next time you take it. Next time you take an extended rest. Both you and the ally you trained with can mark one additional weapon you are mark one additional weapon they, not you, they. As a trained weapon. Both characters are considered trained with the chosen weapons. There we go. Cool. So there we go. We actually have two abilities there for the Weapon Master's kit, which is good because on one hand, this is a kit that shows up a little bit more often as far as our background distribution goes. So what do we call these again? No, that's too grandiose there. Clockwork contraption, stealthy manipulator, repair armor, divine blessing, poison crafter, performer. Training partner. Weapons expert. Weapons crafter. No, it's not crafter because you're not making a new weapon. Hone the edge. I mean, quartermaster. We could just call it quartermaster. I think we might just do that. In which case, training partner here does then, you know, become next one to be whatchamacallit. Gotta come first. There we go. Training partner and quartermaster. There we go. So you can either give someone a weapon training and give yourself a weapon training, or you can give you and your allies some bonus damage on your melee weapon attacks. And that's a good way to do this without giving additional weapon proficiencies. Because most everyone has at least a weapon proficiency. Or like you'll be able to pick one up somewhere through a different feature. But like, let's say you want to... Hang on. Does the rogue get weapon training? That's a great question. Let's... Probably, yep. Alright, but like, let's say you have a sorcerer here. Sorcerers get what? They don't get weapons. Okay. Speakers. Speaker. Perfect example here. Speakers. They get proficiency with simple weapons here, but they don't get any weapon training. And so if you want to work with like your cleric or your priest here so that they can, you know, have a long knife and defend themselves with some little bits of tricks to gain access to different flourishes with a dagger or something of the sort, have them train with the weapon master during an extended rest, and then that will open up those flourishes to them. Perfect. Perfect. All right, so there we go here. Weapon master's kit. There we go. All right, so what else we have to work with? All right, time right now here. Okay, we are pretty decent. How long have I been streaming? About an hour and a half. Okay. Let's go ahead and maybe, well, hang on. I know we were talking about languages yesterday. In that you gain a number of languages equal to your language ability score. Modifier minimum of 1. Maybe we don't give suggested languages. Oh no. Maybe, well, we should probably have So, okay, so the thing I'm getting inflicted on here is... Yeah, no, let's scrap it. Language, we don't need core languages, we don't need suggested languages, you just get a language ability score. That's going to be what? Delete columns, there we go. Language frequency, don't need it. The heritage feature, that is something we were going to need. Language ability score, you gain... Yeah. Okay, let's just move this stuff down one there, or two there, fine. All culture aspects gain a number of languages equal to your language ability score modifier, minimum of 1. Here we go. So then to be done here, we have heritage abilities. To be done, we have novice and adept abilities. Let's see what all can be brought over from our previous drafts of backgrounds. Okay, acolyte. Yes. Once per day. Okay, so here, let's go ahead and read through the novice and adept ability for the acolyte previously, because I think it's probably going to translate pretty much one. Shelter of Faith. So I believe this is just the core acolyte ability for 5e. As an acolyte, you command the respect of those who share your faith, and you can perform the religious ceremonies of your deity. Your adventuring companions can you and your adventuring companions can expect to receive free healing and care at a temple, shrine, or other established presence of your faith, though you must provide any material components needed for spells. Those who share your religion will support you, but only you, at a modest lifestyle. You might also have ties to a specific temple dedicated to your chosen deity or pantheon, and you have a residence there. This could be the temple you used to serve if you remain on good terms with it, or a temple where you have found a new home. While near your temple, you can call upon priests for assistance, provided the assistance you ask for is not hazardous and you remain in good standing with your temple. And then adept ability here, Moment of Communion. Given your religious background and upbringing, your communion with the divine grows stronger and more powerful, blessing you with the ability to recognize and create opportunities in accord with divine wills. Once per day, you can spend 10 minutes in quiet contemplation seeking guidance from your deific figure. Upon completion, you enter a state of grace for the next hour. While in this state of grace, you gain advantage tier 1 on all initiative, wisdom, perception, and insight checks, and gain the flash of insight as described below. An acolyte can choose to take this time with one other non-hostile creature, bringing them into a state of communion upon the completion of the meditation. The creature joining you in quiet contemplation may roll a TN10 Cronin's Concordance challenge. On a success, they receive a flash of insight, manifesting as a sudden realization, inspirational word, a vision, or a dream. Once within the next hour, the creature can manifest their divine portent and add 1d20 to one ability check, attack roll, or saving throw it makes. Okay. Yeah, I think we're going to keep most of that the same. it's not exactly going to stay the same. Like we've basically completely gotten rid of D20s from the game, so that's probably going to just become a D12 for Moment of Communion there. We've gotten rid of target numbers primarily. There are a couple of exceptions, but nonetheless, I think it's just going to be you gain a flash of this here. So we have Shelter, Faith, we have Moment, we have Rev, Acolyte, Background, Shelter of Faith. Have Rev, Acolyte, Background, Moment of Communion. There we go. Alright. So, Alchemist here. Alchemist Apprentice, my mistake. Alchemist. We have Novice ability, Alchemical Brilliance. When you complete a long rest, roll 2d20s and record the number rolled. When you make an intellect ability challenge related to alchemy, you can add one of these rolls to the challenge. Complete a long rest, you use any unspent Alchemical Brilliance dice. So it is strong, it is powerful, but it's explicitly niche because it's only related to alchemy. So I'm willing to kind of let it go. And then for our Adept ability, this is one that I was actually quite fond of in working through it. The Great Work here. As an experienced alchemist and adventurer, your journey and revelations have brought you into the realization of the ultimate goal of the alchemical process, the Philosopher's Stone, a mythological artifact able to transmute the very essences of life itself. Having researched the Great Work, you have begun to manifest some of the Philosopher's Stone's abilities. The creation of the Philosopher's Stone requires a significant investment in time, resources, and knowledge, making it a powerful ability that only the most experienced and dedicated alchemists can achieve. Once per year, the alchemist can spend a month working on the creation of this stone. If successful, the alchemist gains the following benefits. Immortality. The Philosopher's Stone ties itself to your life, causing you to age slowly. For every 10 years that pass, your body only ages 1 year. Okay, we're going to need to rework this because this is an ability that you can trigger once per year. And so then it's just, has a for every 10 years bit there. Primal Spellcraft. Whenever you cast a spell on the Primal spell list, you can ignore verbal, somatic, and material components. Yep, that is fine. Well, hang on. And you roll a challenge here on the table. Spell succeeds, you gain fatigue equal levels of the spell cast, up to a maximum of 5 levels. Philosopher's Stone is rendered inert. Gain fatigue up to 3 levels, and the stone is rendered inert. Spell succeeds and the stone is rendered inert, and then the spell succeeds. That is kind of boring, I'm not going to lie. Unbound Transmutation. When you touch the Philosopher's Stone to any non-living material, you can transmute it into any other non-living material you are familiar with. lasts for 1d4 hours. When you roll a 4 for the transmutation's duration, you can choose to make the transmutation permanent, rendering the Philosopher's Stone inert. So maybe it's going to be one of the following. Yeah, Primal Spellcraft. I mean, we're gonna have to tweak this a bit, but like I think it's a good place to work from. As an archivist, you have here data anticipation network of shadows. Yes. I think, honestly, I think we might go into like novice and adept abilities probably on our next stream, since we're going to be, starting to write up the actual features. So I feel like that's probably going to be a bit of a whole ordeal. I don't know when I'm going to be streaming next. I might stream later tonight. Otherwise, it might be on Sunday or a couple days past that. So just stay tuned to the channel here. And like, you can like, comment, subscribe to our channel on YouTube, follow on Twitch, and then you'll get notifications when we do go live. But until then, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for spending some time with me here today, and I will see y'all in the next one. Take care.
It automatically tracks crafty, so it doesn't provoke it on